Hello everyone, this is Jean-Marc calling from Funding Gates, and today what we're going to talk about is effective call scripts. So basically in receivables management, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and your customers, they have a ton of other suppliers and vendors that they need to prioritize and pay. So if you have a very robust, disciplined and consistent follow-up process, you'll be able to climb up the priority list, right? So basically consisting of payment reminders, phone calls every week, and then adding other tasks on top of that, whether it's sending a LinkedIn message, whether it's sending snail mail or a fax, but at the minimum every week, a phone call or a payment reminder should go out. And again, consistency is key. Right? The supplier who has the best follow-up process and is consistent is able to eventually climb up the priority list. And so today, basically, we want to cover how to place phone calls and call scripts. And essentially, the best way to prepare for a phone call is to have all the information ready before you even place the phone call. Look for any historical sales dates, invoice dates, communication you've had in the past, right? Payment policies, sales contracts, how the last interaction was, what was said, what was done, right? If you are able to apply any late payment fees at this state or not. And then do some diligence on the company before you call. You know, has there been any exciting news or any bad news on the company that you can bring up during the phone call? And then always start lightly, right? Always give people the benefit of the doubt, right? Start a conversation. You know, these are human beings as well, so having a friendly interaction is super important, right? And then eventually, yeah, you bring up the invoice and you talk about that there are payments missing, right, for whatever job or service or product you've provided, right? And that's the reason why you're calling. And there's always like the common responses during the phone calls, and we're showing here how to best handle those common responses. You know, the classic one is that the check is in the mail or the payment is on its way. So always ask what type of payment was made, whether it was a check, whether it was done through ACH or credit card. Get as much detail as you can and ask them what the check number is, right? And that kind of checks whether they've actually sent the payment, if they actually know the check number, right? And so you can send that over to your accounting team. If they are confused about the due date, the terms, or any other documentation around the invoice, you know, while you have them on the phone, shoot it over to them. Shoot them over the invoice, right? Or send them a fax, right there and then, or share your screen or whatever to clearly show what invoice you're talking about, right? While you have them on the phone. If they're like, I'm not the right person to handle this, right? Then ask immediately for the name and the contact details of the person who is in charge of managing, you know, payments and accounts payable, right? And then also if they have cash flow problems, right? If they express that they won't be able to make the whole payment, then discuss internally whether you'd want to potentially offer them a payment plan. After the call, always make a note of how the call went, any details, right, of the call, what was discussed, any terms, anything that was agreed on. Follow up with an email to make sure that both parties agree, right, on the outcome and the conclusion of the call, right? And also list the number of times that you've actually reached out to the customer, right? When you receive a voicemail, when you call them, here are a couple of, you know, things that you can say on the phone during the voicemail. Basically, you know, your account with us is past due. Our records indicate that you have a total outstanding balance of X number of dollars. Always talk about the invoice issue date, the ID, the amount, the description. So as much detail as you can about the invoice. And also say that you've tried to contact them X number of times on these dates. Please call us as soon as you can to let us know the status of the payment or if you have any questions. If you cannot make the payment in full, please call us to discuss a way to break out the payment into, you know, a payment plan, for example, right? And always end up the phone call with a thank you, right? Thank you for your business. It was great doing business with you. Thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to hearing from you, right? Always end on a positive note. That's it for today. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more content.